Thanks so much. Wow, that was amazing. And I just want to say thank you, Ashley, for this awesome opportunity to speak on this platform with such awesome women that are passionate about the business that they are involved in. So everyone, my name is Shenet Beasley, and I am a women's health advocate with the Justice for My Jewel campaign. And this is a campaign that's going across the country educating women and the men that love them about the health concerns that are associated with the leading brand products that are being sold in the stores. We also educate about lifestyle, getting active, and eating healthy, just overall having a better life, because a lot of ladies are unaware about the health concerns that are associated with the products being sold. So I'm going to use my time to share with you what the issue is and provide you with a safe, natural alternative that you can use on a monthly basis so you can actually have a better monthly experience. So what a lot of ladies are unaware of is that the pads and tampons that we're buying from the stores are actually made with wood fibers, wood chips, recycled papers that they get from a landfill. They take these recycled papers and they take them through a 6 to 8 step bleaching process to make them look white. Now we think it's cotton because it's white, but it's not. Then what they do, that whole bleaching process, it creates a toxin called dioxin. Dioxin is 10 times more lethal than cyanide. And we wearing these things for 40 plus years, right? And now we're seeing many health concerns with ladies with monthly yeast infections, UTIs, fibroids in the African American community, and the list is long. If you Google health concerns associated with pads or tampons, you'll find out the information yourself. And that's one of the things that we always advocate for, is for you to do your own independent research, because the products that are being sold in the stores, the pads and tampons, they're considered medical devices. So the manufacturers do not have to put ingredients on them. And if you've ever looked at any packaging, there are no ingredients listed on your pads or your tampons. So you have to do your own independent research. So that's what the issue is with what's being sold in the store. So we came up with a safe, natural alternative called Rain. Rain is all natural. It's made with a soft cotton blend. It's made with a plant-based polymer that actually pulls the moisture to the bottom of the pad to keep you drier longer. And I'm going to show you ladies a quick demonstration as to why you should be choosing the Rain Premium Sanitary Napkins over anything that you're finding in the store. So I'm going to adjust my camera and see if we can get it on the desk. Perfect. Okay, so this is a Rain Premium Sanitary Napkin, and this is our moderate flow. And what I'm trying to show you here is how thin it is, okay? It can actually hold up to 10 times its weight in liquid. And I'm gonna show you how super absorbent this is. And the other thing I want you to notice is that it is completely sealed. This is a truly sanitary napkin. You know, the pads that we buy from the stores, they actually have holes in the little packaging. You put it in your purse or your book bag. You know, you got to beat it out before you can use it because it's got cookie crumbs and pennies, eyelashes all stuck in there. That's not sanitary. But this is a true sanitary product because it is wrapped all the way around. And this is our moderate flow pad. It does have wings for that stay and safe protection. And this pink strip here is what we call the magic strip. And I'm gonna tell you about that in a minute, but that is Nobel Prize winning technology that we have infused into each one of our pads, okay? So, and if you ladies could feel how soft this is, it's so soft, no plastics, no synthetic materials or rayons to cause any rashes or irritation. This is a soft cotton blend that will keep you dry and comfortable. So I'm going to take this syringe, and it has, you can see, 50 milliliters of liquid. So gynecologists have told us that a woman will exude between 15 and 50 milliliters per day while she's on her feminine flow. So I'm gonna put this into our moderate flow pads, and we're going to see what happens, okay? Oh, and each one of our pads does have this 3D leak guard protection on the wings. You can see that. I think you guys can see that when I move it. That's there to prevent any leakage from the sides. The wings wrap around the panties and you're protected. You don't have to worry about leakage. This pink strip, this is Nobel Prize winning technology that can help kill 99.9% of bacteria. Graphene technology helps reduce odors because it's killing that bacteria. It helps with pain and inflammation. So ladies that use our Rain Premium sanitary napkins, they have a reduction in menstrual cramps. And it also helps balance pH and hormone levels. So ladies are in better moods and have more energy when using our Rain Premium sanitary napkins, okay? So I'm gonna take a regular old red napkin, and y'all saw I just poured 50 milliliters of water in there, right? Red napkin. I'm gonna place it on top, and I'm gonna press. Okay, and I'm gonna press. That thing is completely dry. Can your pads do that? No, they can't. That is why y'all should be choosing Rain Premium sanitary napkins. And it does come in 5 different sizes. So we have panty liners for everyday use. We have a size for everyone's flow. The moderate flow, we have a heavy flow, we have a super overnight heavy flow. We've got every flow covered. So now that we now have a safe, natural alternative, you should be using Rain Premium sanitary napkins. No risk of being exposed to chemicals or toxins, just keeping you dry, comfortable on a monthly basis. And then for ladies that are beyond those years or that do not have a cycle, we have panty liners with wings and panty liners without wings, okay? Painfreeperiod.com is my website where you can purchase the pads. The pads are only $6 per pack, so they're affordable. What we're trying to do is educate and offer an affordable, safe, natural alternative, and that is what we are providing for our ladies. Are there any questions before we move on to our next presenter?
Can you say the link again?
It's painfreeperiod.com, and you do spell each word out, painfreeperiod.com. Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome. And we have another question in the chat. Does your company make tampons?
Absolutely not. We will not be making tampons. Our medical advisory board has told us that tampons actually are not good for reproductive health. They're plugging up what your body is naturally trying to release. So all of the period waste and uterine lining, your body needs to evacuate that. So the tampon is holding all of that bacteria in, which does increase your risk of developing toxic shock syndrome. And I like to bring that up because a lot of ladies, oh, I haven't heard of it in forever. Yeah, toxic shock is rare, but it is real. So you need to decrease your risk of developing that by not even using a product that's holding it in. We have something better for you, safe, natural, gonna keep you dry and comfortable. Try Rain, and I bet you'll never use your tampons again. Any other questions? You're welcome. All right, here's Amanda.
Thank you, Shenet, and thank you, Ashley, for having me here today. Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Donahue. I am the Certified Athletic Trainer for Dean College, located in Franklin, Massachusetts. I work with the Palladino School of Dance and School of the Arts, so that's how I met Ashley. I met Ashley when she was there during the summer intensive. I don't know how many years ago that was now, probably about seven, maybe 8 years ago. Not yet. Oh, I've been there for about 8, so it's longer than that. Yeah, and then seeing her grow, you know, all through her undergraduate degree was really a pleasure to see. So I'm really honored to be a part of this panel today, and I've learned something from everyone today, and I'm terrified thinking that there are wood chips in my tampon, Shenet, so thank you. bringing that to my knowledge. My gosh. But really, like truly, it's been an honor to listen to everyone speak today so much. So a little bit about myself. I grew up as a performer. I trained in ballet growing up and also competitive roller skating. And then I injured my knee during high school, and that's what found me into the world of athletic training. So as an athletic trainer, I am a licensed healthcare professional, trained in injury care and prevention and management as well. So a lot of times you'll see athletic trainers working traditionally in the sports setting. If an athlete gets injured on the field, those are typically athletic trainers that you're seeing responding to that injury. Now our field is growing. You will find athletic trainers working within the performing arts, working in the military setting, in the industrial setting, and also in a physician's practice as well. So my goal, my why is, my why is really to empower performing artists with knowledge to take care of their bodies for the long term. When I was a dancer growing up, going to the doctor and telling them, well, I can't lift my leg, above this high or something like that. A lot of times I'll hear from dancers is, well, just don't dance or don't do anything. So I wanted to really be able to give a voice to our performers of knowledge that they can go into an appointment should they get injured, on how to effectively communicate what's happening with their bodies, but then also give them information about how to take care of their bodies so that they don't get injured as well. So with that, what I wanted to share with you guys today, and some of you may be dancers or performers, some of you may not, but it's certainly information that will hopefully be applied to you. Two things that I really talk about a lot are breath and then also lymphatic drainage with my performers right now. So especially during the time of COVID, I think breathing mechanics, challenges of utilizing a mask during the day is something that has been a big part of discussion. And with our dancers at Dean, they do have to train with dances with masks on. So when I'm talking about breath, I'm talking about looking at their mechanics. So how are they getting air in? And not simply just, are they breathing in through their nose? Are they breathing in through their mouth? But how is their rib cage actually expanding? And I have found in my evaluation process that by looking at breathing mechanics and seeing where a patient can get air into their body, meaning, are they breathing a lot from the bottom of the rib cage? Are they getting a lot of air coming up to their shoulders? Are they getting a lot of tightness in their shoulders? That's something that I can teach them on how to kind of breathe in a different way to try to get a nice stretch from the inside out. So that is something that we're going to talk about today. One of the books that I will recommend for a resource is called Breath by James Nestor. And I'll drop that into the chat afterwards so you guys have that. But it talks a lot about the benefits of learning how to really breathe from your nose versus being a mouth breather. So if you're someone who maybe has sleep apnea, or you snore a lot at night, or you find yourself waking up with really dry mouth in the morning, breathing from your nose can have a really beneficial application to the body from like a stress management standpoint, from reducing blood pressure, from really gaining control of our nervous system, where times where we might find ourselves being more anxious or stressed during the day. So what I'm going to have you guys do is actually just sit on the edge of your chair, wherever you are right now. And I want you guys to just have your feet flat on the floor so you can kind of ground yourself. And we're just going to do a quick breathing exercise that you can do during your day. And I'm just going to move my camera slightly so you can see how I'm stacking my spine here. So what I like to do is really get my feet kind of grounded on the floor. And then a lot of us, if we're sitting at our chair, you want to think about stacking your rib cage over your pelvis, okay? Your diaphragm, which is one of the largest muscles that we use to breathe, is located on the bottom of the rib cage here. So a lot of times when people start talking about breathing mechanics, we think about getting a nice belly breath in and just feeling that expand. So what I'm going to have you guys think about today and explore is breathing from a 360-degree range of motion. So front, back, side to side. So what I'm going to have you do, place one hand right over the bottom of your rib cage and the other hand on the small of your back. And if you can't get your hand to the small of your back, what you can do is have a pillow behind you, or if you want to sit with your back up against that chair so you can get just a little bit of tactile feedback from your chair, that would be great. You choose. So now from here, we're going to close our mouths, and we're going to take a nice slow inhale through our nose, and then a long sighing exhale through our mouth like we're fogging up a mirror. You're going to do that a few more times for me. Just starting to sense where we're getting air in into the front and back of our rib cage. You might find it's a little bit easier to get air into the front. That's okay. On the next inhale, slow it down just a little bit for me. See if you can breathe into your low back here. Get a nice stretch to that low back. Good, and long sighing exhale. Good. So that's what we call breathing from front to back, or AP expansion. The next one we're going to do is a little bit of side to side expansion. So I'm going to face you this way. And then you're going to put your hands on the side of your rib cage. So our rib cage can expand front to back, but it can also expand side to side, kind of like a bucket handle or chicken wings going out in this direction here. Okay, so we're going to take, again, ground your feet, stack rib cage over pelvis. Take a nice inhale through your nose. Good, and a long sighing exhale. Fogging up that mirror, getting all that air out. Little pause at the end. Inhale again. Good, feeling the rib cage expand laterally or to the side. Long sighing exhale. Good. One more time for me. Take a nice inhale through the nose. Long sighing exhale. Feel the ribs come together. And even get that all that air out. So you feel those ab muscles start to turn on a little bit. They're there. Hold a little bit of tension into your abs now. Now breathe in again. See if we can breathe into that back a little bit more. Good. And long sighing exhale. Nice job, everyone. So what you may have experienced during this is you might have felt a little bit of a stretch in the back area. Did anyone, show a hand, did anyone feel a little bit of a stretch into their back? Yeah, awesome, awesome. So practicing breathing mechanics, I love doing this, especially right before I go to bed at night. It really helps kind of down-regulate my nervous system, taking a second to kind of center myself and get me into my pre-sleep routine or getting ready to go to bed at night, which sleep is super important. And actually, I'm glad that was great for you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. But if you suffer from any type of like low back pain or neck tightness or difficulty raising your arms up overhead, really taking the time to practice your breathing mechanics and get some expansion all the way. God, that was relaxing for you, Shenet. Some expansion into your low back can really make a difference kind of overall and actually help you tap into your core musculature because we're working from that stack position. Very good. Okay, so now the next one, I actually want to talk to you about a little bit of a warm-up sequence. It's going to be a very simple exercise. So I'm going to talk about what I do to kind of stimulate the lymphatic system. So our lymph system is a part of our immune system, and it helps rid our body of toxins, extra fluid in our body. And I've been prescribing this for students who have chronic pain, who have swelling in their ankles that won't go away. Maybe there's someone that has like a hypermobility disorder like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or POTS, another one, if they have history of potentially passing out frequently, or anything that they just chronic inflammation in the body. So it's 6 main points. So I learned this recently and it's been working pretty well. So I'm gonna have you guys either stand up or you could stay seated in your chair. You can do either one. I'm gonna stand just because I've been sitting for a little bit and I like to stand and move. All right, so from here, what we're gonna do, the first point is we're gonna stimulate over our collarbone. So you're gonna take one hand and you're gonna rub right over the collarbone. We're gonna hit the 6 main points of the lymph system. And we're gonna rub that quickly for about 10 seconds. Thank you, Ashley, for that 5 minutes heads up. We'll be done on time, I promise. Good. And now switch to the other side. 10 seconds on the other collarbone. This is kind of like my version of head, shoulders, knees, and toes, but we'll make it work. Very good. Now we're going to stimulate behind the ears where your other lymph nodes are located. This may be an area where you have a cold that you feel like your throat's kind of swollen. Good. Now we're going to rub over our chest muscles, top of the pec. This is where other lymph nodes are located here. Very good. We're going to do 10 seconds to it, kind of opening up those channels. Very good. Now we're going to rub over our bellies. This is one of where our main lymph nodes are located here. And bringing some heat to that area. And then the next one we're going to do is the inner thigh, so kind of like our groin area here. We're in the front of the hips. We're going to do that for 10 seconds. Very good. This is point number 5. 1, 2, 3. And then behind the knees. 10 seconds down the bottom of the knees. That's the last one we're stimulating. And then after that 10 seconds, either in a seated position or standing, you're just going to bounce on your toes so that you're just lifting your heels up. So if you're sitting in your chair right now, just kind of lift those heels up quickly. And then you finish by doing this for about 2 to 3 minutes, because what that is doing, it's stimulating the vein that's in the bottom of the leg. It's going to help return everything up back into the heart and help get that out. So what you can do is that you can do that beginning of the day. You can do it before bed at night. You can do that before you're going for a walk. And that's really going to wake up those calf muscles and help your lymph system kind of overall, which is really good for immunity and health. So those are my 2 fun facts that I hope you guys will be able to take into your life and help with your immune system and stress management potentially as well. So the book that I mentioned is Breath by James Nestor. And then 6 points that we talked about was your collarbone, behind the ears, chest, tummy, groin, behind the knees, and then you bounce for 2 to 3 minutes. All right, thank you everyone so much. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, I am handing off the microphone to Sherise Morris. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Amanda did some of the work for me today, so I appreciate that. With the breath, most of the relaxation techniques do fall on the breath. So thank you, Amanda. That was great to get a different perspective. Ashley, thank you so much for inviting me and for allowing me to share this platform. I am also very proud of what I see and the direction that your life is taking. You and Mark and Ashley and Alex are growing up so fast right before our very eyes, and we're proud of you. So relax. Ashley asked me to talk a little bit about relaxation, and I will start by saying that this is not a subject that most people consider for health and wellness. But the reason that I actually launched into this area was the result of a series of traumatic experiences. So lots of trauma that caused me to realize that my mental health was at risk. Not because, not so much depression, but just the anxiety, grief, different things that were attacking my ability to maintain peace. And relaxation began to be a forefront. So what we did first, we began holding sessions so that we would just gather together as women. So this is very fitting for the Women's History Month. We would begin to gather as women just to share some of our experiences and to encourage and to support one another. But I realized that it was often at surface level. We would keep things very surface. We would not deal with the hard topics, the hard issues, and those things that were actually presenting challenges. So death and dying, divorce and separation, health challenges, sicknesses, financial issues, we kind of stayed away from, and we just came together and smiled at each other and had a good time and went back home and dealt with all of the pains and the anxiety and the trauma that we were dealing with. So after dealing with the loss of my mother, I decided that we needed to be a bit more open. We needed to talk a little bit more. And the first thing that we talked about was how to have tough conversations, because my mother was actually suffering from breast cancer and was keeping it a secret. So none of us knew that she was going through that experience until it was too late. And so she was suffering the anxiety, situational anxiety, just different things. And then the traumas we experienced walking through that experience with her led us to know we need to deal with some tough discussions. Like, how do you actually bring this information out? After we held those sessions about what to do typically when you're going through something. How do you press through? How do you talk? How do you manage that space? After we dealt with that, then we realized a lot of times we're still at the surface level of managing our day-to-day. So we're kind of just surviving it, just getting through it, just pushing past it, doing the things that are required of us, and then moving on. And we're not taking time to pause. We're not taking time to actually, I believe I heard Julianne say, sit in. We hadn't taken time to sit in what was actually happening and to understand, evaluate, and just kind of deal with what we were experiencing. So we started having sessions that were based on loving me, meaning I need to focus on me for a little bit. I need to not be so concerned with everything going on around me, and I need to deal with the emotional stuff that's going on within me. And then it just kind of developed from there. So we ended up at Uniquely Me because we realized that each of us are different. Our challenges are different. Our experiences are different. The way we deal with things are different. And therefore, the way we manage them, the way we heal, the way we walk through them are completely different. We could take two different people going through the same experience, and they will have different perspectives, different outlooks. They'll see things differently, and therefore they need different things. So relaxation is just a method, and relax is really just something to grab your attention that will help you to focus on what your body needs, what your mind needs, how to slow down just for a little bit to really look at what's going on and how to come through it healthy and whole in your mind, body, and spirit. And a lot of times we're focused on the outside and we're not focused on the inside. We're focused on how we're presenting ourselves to people, but we're not focused on what's really going on the inside. So I have some mindfulness and relaxation information, and I really enjoyed the instruction that Amanda gave with the breath. The breath is the core. We always come back to the breath because that's the center of who we are and what we do. That's actually the name that I initially had chosen for, instead of relax, I used to say breath or breathe or pneuma. I've been through a couple of different series of who I wanted to be at different times, but it is definitely the breath. But just very quickly, I know we're over time. There are some very significant ways to relax, and I'm just going to hit on a few of them. And again, most of them focus on the breath, but there's also sound, so we can utilize music. There's also smell, so we can utilize aromatherapy. There's also sight. So even just looking at a picture, which is one of this activities we did at our last relaxation session, we took a picture that someone had posted on Facebook and just looked at the different components of that picture and how you can get lost in all of the different dimensions of the picture and just allow your mind to experience things from a different perspective and to get away from all of the hustle and bustle. Just slowing down for 5 minutes to take a look at a picture and to study the light and how the sun hits and where the shadows are and things like that can work wonders for you. Laughter, I believe Co-Pastor Rainey mentioned laughter. If you have time, or I should say you should make time to choose a children's movie. It's an hour, most times, hour, 40 minutes. Watch a children's movie and just allow yourself to get lost in the fun of laughter. And it works wonders for your body, releasing the endorphins that we talked about. Of course, exercise and motion is very good for releasing the endorphins. And I know Pastor Rainey can tell us more about that, how good it is for you to move your body and to get things going. One of the things that's not that much of a favorite for me is driving, but driving is a good way to relax. A lot of people will go out and drive and observe. You can listen to music, you can sing, You can just look at the sights, or you can just drive and enjoy the scenery. I don't like driving as much as some people, but driving is one of those ways. Another way is coloring, sketching, journaling, using your touch, allowing your mind to just be free and creative is a great way to relax. One of my absolute favorites, massage, allowing your body to just completely get lost in touch is a wonderful way to relax. Very important, and I think one of our panelists spoke about rest, allowing your body to rest, extremely key. One of the things that not all of us do as much as we should is to rest. And I used to say we could trick our bodies into thinking that we're getting more rest than we are. If you're unable to sleep, just lay there and pretend that you're asleep. Make your body think it's sleep. You don't have to. I mean, if it's fighting you and you're trying to rest and your body doesn't want to rest, if you don't move, just lay there and make it think that it's sleeping. But that's not the best way to do it. I just used to feel that way because I couldn't get enough rest, but you do need to sleep. You do need to recharge, refuel. Prayer and meditation, absolutely wonderful ways to relax and to refuel your mind. And then, of course, there are apps that you can use. Breathe, B-R-E-E-T-H-E is one. Calm is another one that I like. And then I have one that sets it a daily reminder, and it gives a little bit of information for you each day. And it's a healthy app that kind of lets you know if you're on track, and it gives you some soothing information about yourself and some soothing voices to come on and help you walk through your nighttime relaxation. And then finally, there are intentional mindfulness and relaxation activities. The professional arena considers these two different things. Mindfulness and relaxation are not equals. They're not the same thing. And they caution that you should not enter into mindfulness with a goal. Mindfulness is intended to just be an experience, something that you're concentrating on, being in the moment, focusing on intentional living. One thing that a mindfulness challenge that I have a little trouble with it, and this may be one that you can do pretty easily, is intentional activity prioritizing. So for instance, in the morning, you have your morning routine, and it's suggested that you take one of those activities and focus, get entirely lost in that activity. So brushing your teeth, not walking through the house, not talking, not getting your lunch ready, not doing anything else but brushing your teeth, noticing the taste, the touch, the feel, the smell, the water running, the whole process. Immerse yourself in the whole process each day. I can tell you that one I failed. And I failed that one because I had filled my morning with so many different things. So I'm listening to one of the ministries talk on Facebook, or I'm listening to the prayer that I didn't want to get up early enough to hear, with John Hanna. He does a 5 a.m. prayer. I can't join John Hanna at 5 a.m. So I would play that while I'm getting ready. And so to actually stop and pay attention, full attention to an activity, it's a challenge. But if you kind of force yourself to do it, it grounds you in mindfulness, that you can be intentional about what you're doing. And so they say relaxation should not be an objective of mindfulness, because they're two different things. But you can use mindfulness to get to a place of relaxation depending on the activity that you take. I'll share one more. I think I'm down to 2 minutes. I'll share one more with you, which is a mindful walk, a sound walk. I had never heard of this one until I was taking this course through Rice University, and the instructor challenged us to take a mindful walk. So you're actually going out and you're trying to pick up as many things as you can hear while you're walking for, let's say, 15 minutes. And because we're in COVID, I wasn't really out and about amongst a lot of people, but I happened to have a doctor's appointment, eye doctor's appointment that week. And so while I was the only one in the waiting room out in the hallway, because you can't stay in the waiting room, with too many people. And I just listened, and I could hear the sound of the door opening. I could hear someone approaching with a cane. I could hear someone, their conversation. I could hear the clicks of the machine as they were examining the eyes. I could hear, someone's rustling something in their hand. Of course, we could hear a cell phone and someone talking on their cell phone. But just trying to figure out how many different things you could hear while you're being mindful in that moment kind of helps reduce the stress of being at the doctor's office, reduces the stress of being at the dentist or something like that. So it allows you to relax just a little bit more, helps you deal with the anxiety. I think I saw Minister Lori mention the anxiety, and that is one of the techniques that you can use. But I hope these have been helpful for you. I know we're going really fast, but I wanted to give you some ideas, even if it's just for a few minutes a day, if you'll just focus your attention on some small way to relax. And again, we're all different. We're all unique. Our challenges, our experiences, even our successes are different. But hopefully you can take one of those things. I wanted to mention, I heard someone talking about the masks. I think it was Amanda talking about the masks. Aromatherapy is one of the ways that you can kind of mitigate the anxiety of having your face covered and having to be in a mask. If you rub just a little bit of the oils, I don't know if you can see that with my backdrop, but the essential oils, this one is peppermint. But of course, there's lavender and things like that. Just a little bit, even under your nose or in your mask, and then you're inhaling that, and it's kind of allowing you to breathe it in and to keep your mind at rest about being covered up. So thank you again. I hope the information is helpful, and keep your eyes out for our next relaxation session, and hopefully you can all join.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining. I know we're a little bit over time, but it was all great information, so it was worth it. I really appreciate all the panelists and all the information that you have given. I've gotten information just myself in sitting here, and I hope all of you that have joined, and even panelists yourself, have gotten information from those that spoke. And I'm really excited to do this again next year, and I just thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for joining in celebrating Women's History Month with me. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys all have a great weekend.